Hey there everyone, what's up? It's Joe. Welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm actually doing the first video in a little series that I'm going to be covering the harder content in Final Fantasy Dissidia Omnia. Now it's important to note here that I am actually a free-to-play player as of this video. I can't promise that will always be the case because there's some pretty exciting stuff that I want in this game. Quistis EX weapon comes around and I don't get it with free stuff. I may break the free-to-play thing, but right now that is the case. And I wanted to cover the fact that it's quite possible to do a lot of the harder content in Omnia, even as a free-to-play player. There we go. I've been playing since day one, so I do have a lot more than you would think as a free-to-play player, and I'm also very, very strict about what I use, but we're going to be covering Quistis EX event this time around, and the team that I'm using for this event does involve Sazh. However, I will happily upload another video that doesn't have Sazh in it if you would like me to, so sound off in the comments below if you think that that's important. I'm using Kuja because Kuja is, honestly, well, he's my favourite character in the game for a start. I have already, my first Omnia video was a pull video for Kuja, and I also think that he's just a really, really strong damage dealer, and dealing damage to both of the bosses at the end of this event at once actually proved to be very, very helpful, and he's quite strong without his skills as well, like just raw, brave and HP damage does seem to work quite well with him. And then Aiko I actually think is more important in this setup than Sazh is. Aiko is very, very strong, period. She is easily one of, if not the best characters in the game. Her HP regen, honestly, in combination with Ifrit and the fact that you have, you need to be at maximum HP to benefit from Ifrit, worked very, very well. And I actually like to use an HP regen at the start of the whole thing, just so that I can get through the ads quicker in order to get to the boss. That being said, I think that with all the way up to the 5th fight of the round, I would try and limit as many skill uses as possible, if even going so far as to say to not use any. I use an HP regen just to speed things along a bit, but you don't have to. I didn't use any of Sazh's attack boost, anything like that, and then my friend unit is a Varn, because I think honestly, friend unit Varns are invaluable. They're just such good burst damage, they do so well against so many things, and the bosses are actually weak to White Whirl, not Luminescence but White Whirl, so it means that the damage is actually going to be really, really quick off the mark. You can easily use this with a Sazh friend unit, because a lot of people put their Sazhs up as friend units, so you could easily use that as well. You don't have to do that. Anyways, going back to the fight at hand, like I said with the ads, it's very, very important to just use bravery and HP attacks and just be very careful about it. These ones actually get a bit hairy at times because they keep attacking the same guys and it's really quite irritating. But because of HP regen, the fact that I used it early, I'm able to keep my health at maximum in order to benefit from Ifrit as best that I can. So, I'm just going to leave the, just skip through the ad fight and just get straight into the boss fight. Now I actually make a bit of a mistake going into this fight, so don't make the same mistake that I did and I started with an Ultima Plus before I actually had Sazh buff or anything kind of buff on Kuja. I wouldn't do that. I would have possibly, if I'd gone back and done it again, I would have probably used Ring Holy. Fun fact actually about Kuja's Ring Holy, if there's only 2 enemies on the field, the one that you target, like with the targeting reticle, is the one that's going to get hit twice. So bear that in mind. It's not, it advertises itself as like a random targeting. It actually isn't as random as you think it is. So bear that in mind when you're using Kuja. Now, generally the fight goes as you would expect it to. Just keep your bravery high where possible if they're being targeted by the enemies. The TRIs are, generally, this is one of the easiest, EX events that we've had so far, I believe. And, you'll notice that none of the units that I'm using are, stat boosted by the event because they're not the selected characters. And you can do quite a lot. I mean, Sazh and Aiko, if you do happen to have both of them with their weapons, like I do, then a Sazh boosted smite will carry you through a lot of stuff. Aiko, honestly, is a character that I think that everyone should be pulling for. She's featured on practically every banner going. So honestly, pick one of the banners. The Sephiroth banner that's coming up fairly soon, I believe, will have Aiko on it as well. So honestly, you have no excuse to not try and get this character. She's extremely potent, and even when the level 60 awakenings come in the near future, she'll still be useful then. So I very, very much encourage you guys to go out and get Aiko if you can. Important not to use your summon too early in this fight. I wait until a little while into the fight. I made the mistake of doing it too quickly the first time I tried this and I failed because of it. So honestly with your summons, it's very, very easy to grind out Ifrit's level 20 now. Again, it's very important that you do that because you'll get a lot out of it, and these guys are actually weak to fire. They're also weak to wind as well, so that's why Varn comes in very, very handy, and in the co-op fights you're going to want to bring Sylph with you instead of Ifrit. But, you know, just getting Varn out after you've done your summon, make sure that you get the Sazh boost on him. I replaced Aiko with Varn when I changed mine into my friend unit because Aiko I felt would have been better to keep hold of for her smite later on had anything gone wrong, and whereas Varn's burst damage is just, I just want to get one of them down as quickly as I can while still doing some damage to the other one, which is why I picked Kuja for this fight. There are plenty of other options for characters that you can use in this fight, and I'll go over a quick few of them once the fight itself is finished, but I wanted to show you guys basically how useful Kuja is in this fight. His spread damage does so much, Ring Holy does a lot of damage, Ultima does even more, and it just really pays off. So the white wells are going to keep coming in, and if you get blinds it's not really going to affect much because they're magic based monsters, so they're going to keep doing that. But you want to keep their bravery down, make sure that they're broken out as much as you can, because you don't want big waves or their sort of HP bravery attacks going. Water bullet, it can really wreck you, so just be very careful. Once the tier eyes have used their kind of glaring eyes ability, their speed will go up, and that's where, I think that's where Quistis was intended to be used in this fight, is you want to keep their turn rate down. So if you have Quistis, then great. I have tried very hard not to pull on this banner. I'm actually trying very hard not to pull on many banners at all. I'm probably going to be skipping Sephiroth's as well, despite the fact that Sephiroth is really cool and we all love him, purely because I think that it's important to try and save up for the next kind of meta, and I already have a lot of the stuff that's really currently useful, so I don't want to keep spending. But once you've got it down to one eye, you're pretty much on easy street, to be honest. So, once you've got the down to one, you just keep, smacking it with your biggest attacks, and then eventually you'll come out on top. The score that I got out of this at the end ended up giving me all of the rewards, and this was just using, Kuja, Aiko, and Sazh. Now, some of the other characters that I think would be very useful in this fight include Prish, because she is a very hard hitter. She can deal a lot of damage with her fire-based attacks, given that the tier eyes are weak to fire. They are also weak to wind as well, but because of the way her rotation works, you kind of want to stick to Howling Fist and make sure that you're dealing as much damage to a singular target. But her spinning attack is an AoE bravery attack as well, and that comes in very handy. Tidus is a character that I think is really useful because of his debuffs, so it will get their speed back down again so that they're more manageable, and I think that if I were to use a Sazh friend unit, then I would take Tidus along with me instead of, obviously, Sazh, and I think that having the debuffs would be really useful. Papalymo is also very good because of his fire-based magic, and honestly, for burst damage, you don't get much better than Papalymo. He does very well. If you don't have access to Aiko, but you pull heavily on the Kuja banner like I did, then Yuna might come in very handy to you because her cheer ability will buff everybody's max bravery. If you have a Sazh friend unit as well, that will stack on top of it, so your max bravery and attack power is going to get very big. And then similarly to using the friend unit that we just used, Varn could be really useful to you anyway. You don't, as long as you're keeping mind of the skills you're using throughout the ads phase, then you should be fine to use Varn. Just be careful, he might run out of energy a little bit quicker than some of the other characters. So that's it for this video. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I hope that it's helpful to you. Like I said, I did use Sazh in this event, and I know a lot of people worry about, can I complete hard content without Sazh? And the answer is absolutely, of course you can. But so I've given you some character recommendations. If you'd like me to post another video that doesn't use Sazh, then sound off in the comments below and let me know what you think. And then that's it for this. So thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you want more news on Final Fantasy Dissidia, Opera Omnia, and the Final Fantasy trading card game, and hopefully I will speak to you guys soon. Thanks very much for watching. Bye now.